wants to get their skin pinched in the meat grinder of willful ignorance that is our criminal justice system. And with some certainty, Keith was thrown in hook, line, and sinker, pushed in by somebody or some groups of people. Now, I have heard, and I don't know if this is true, Joseph, if there's apparently been some difficulty with you having communications with your client while he's in lockdown. Is that correct? Is that accurate? Can you tell us about that?
That's a subject of a federal lawsuit right now. There is a different law firm working on that.
Okay.
In terms of prisoners' rights, but I can tell you, last time I spoke with Keith, we started talking about the tampering, started talking about real nuts and bolts. The line got very, very staticky, kind of out of the blue, only at that moment, and then we got cut off. I get cut off from Keith frequently when I speak with him on the phone.
Sure.
Some of it might be phone problems, cell phones. Some of it might be something else. So. But it happens a lot, so it's definitely very suspicious.
And then we have the fact that the next day after we filed the motion, the tampering, after Tully filed it, they scrubbed. They told him, we're going to scrub your list, and they cut his power of attorney. In the past, they put him for 97 days in the shoe for sending his love to Nikki through another inmate, supposedly. So this is retaliation, is what it is.
No, I'm hesitant to say anything that might make conditions worse for Keith in prison. But I understand that that's a very special facility where high profile and high risk, they use them, sex offenders, child predators. Ross Ulbricht is there as well. So these seem to be very special enemies of the state that are in for protection. Obviously, every communication that somebody high profile like him is going to have is going to be monitored, perhaps more closely than other people. But so he had his list scrubbed. Did I hear that right? So he had to rebuild his visitor list or his content?
Well, what that means is they cut phone communication with him, and it was key for his defense. But again, I imagine that because of the lawsuit going on, it might not be the best thing to get into details. But
of course.
I think the point is that the way the government is acting is preventing his defense. And they've done this ever since he was in MDC. There's so many stories. I don't want to get into another wormhole.
That's a violation of his civil liberties, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Like his right to attorney, right?
There's many things that have been violated that we could make one podcast about those things.